Hello and welcome back to the Water. My name is Beast, and today we're back with Prince of Evangile. Last time we finished the Naginata, who very much just kind of forced her way to the top, right next to Tamie when it comes to characters, for me. Also, for some reason, there we go, it's gone. Why is Chio still lit up? Okay, something is wrong with the recording. Huh. That is strange. What the fuck is going on? Okay, I think... Okay, you know what? See it? Just... hold the phone. Let's try this again. Also, I'm currently like in the middle of downloading Magical A3. That's nice. Anyways, let's try this again. Start the game.
Princess Evangile, double happiness.
What is this? Like, it's showing the one I'm hovering over, but the portrait lighting up is basically lazy eye. It's fucking weird. Anyways, enough puzzlement about that. The roulette for the backgrounds on the left-hand side, we have Tokushi, or Toko, as some of y'all may remember her name as, from Seven of the Witch, tried to feed Masomi. Not Masomi, I'm a fucking idiot. That's the wrong Ubisoft game. That one is Hoshina. Sorry. I'm an idiot. I checked out Bosk Wars Banka video recently because somebody told me that apparently my commentary very much reminds them of them. But, so I decided to, check it out, but... well, it's hard to judge my own commentary, I guess. Anyways, like... I will probably watch Bosk Wars videos if I ever feel the desire to replay one of the games I've played, but don't feel like actually downloading the game again. Like, if that's ever the case, I'll probably just check if he uploaded the game and then just watch it from him. I can see myself doing that. Anyways, on the right hand side we have the background you get after beating Arl's route. Like the one you can download from the teams that love me. Anyways, as usual, I have beer. I swear I'm not an alcoholic. And today we'll be starting with Konomi-Route. Mignon Poop and Lamson Mercy. Merci. Kinda weird that since she's using Naginata, that it would show a katana. That's kind of weird. Actually, I should probably look up some kind of combat demonstration of somebody fighting with a Naginata, because that would actually be very interesting, I think. Anyways, summer vacation officially started today. As strict as Vincent was, it did allow students to visit home during summer vacation and New Year's, so the dorm was practically deserted as a result. The number of students in the cafeterias during the early morning hours was sparse at best, and there was no sign of anyone in the hallways either. It feels a little lonely having everyone disappear like this. Except for Risa and I, everyone in our circle of friends had gone home for the summer. We split up when we got to my room. Yeah, see ya. Looks like I've got some time on my hands. Now that I thought about it, during previous summer vacations, I had spent practically every day from dawn till dusk working at part-time jobs. It obviously wasn't our fun and games, but at least it gave me something to do. I mean, you could actually ask the principal if you were allowed to work. Like, you could actually do that. Basically arguing with, hey, I need some kind of money if I were to be thrown out of the school if the Grand Judgment doesn't let me stay, basically. Like, if he argues like that, I feel like he would be allowed to work. Anyways. And now I had nothing. With 50 million yen left, there wasn't much point in a part-time job. Besides, Vincent had banned students from having them. Guess there's no help in it. I gotta do some homework or something. After I got sick of doing homework, I switched gears and watched TV, but found that to be an excruciatingly long, boring task, too. I had never really gotten into the habit of mindlessly watching television in the first place, mostly due to my labor-intensive part-time jobs, so I didn't really see the appeal behind it. So carefree. Oh, is that a new character theme I hear? Compared to the previous day, the next was a little busier. Specifically because Konomi came by early. Konomi, has the Naginata Club's training camp already started?
大変ね。休みが1日だけだなんて。大変ですが、ただ今年ばっかりは休んでいるわけにはいかないんです。それでは私はこれで失礼します。ごきげんよう。あら、行っちゃった。どういうことか聞こうと思ったのに。
He's as energetic as ever.
ほんと？あれだけ食べた後ですぐに走れるんだから元気が有り余っているというわけなのね。
Her training camp is starting off pretty late in the day, isn't it? Well, they're training elsewhere, right? I figured they would have left earlier in the morning. You still looked quite puzzled for some reason.
ああ、そっか。マサヤさん、バンセンヌの外に合宿に行くと、そう考えているわけね。
Well, yeah, that's what makes sense. It's a training camp. She isn't.
それが違うのよ。
Where then?
正解は上。
Up. According to Reset, it was a lodge nestled at the peak of Mount Amuro, where Vincent resided. Wow. Went to the trouble of building a lodge on the same campus.
そういうことなのよ。
Why? Oh, I was just wondering, why go to all that effort of moving everyone up there? We already live in the dorms, so I doubt the lodge is really necessary.
さあ、なんでかしらね。そういうところがいかにも万全ぬらしいのよ。
Risa had a seemingly forced smile on her face. Konomi sure is great. She has something that drives her. Multi's over as I sat at my desk, wrapping my pencil against it. After enthusiastically scarfing down my breakfast earlier that morning in the cafeteria, I realized something. Since I often had nothing to do save go to the dorm as part of the Going Home Club, I thought it'd be a good idea to join an official club. Hypothetically speaking, if I were to join a sports-oriented club, would it be okay for me to be the only guy? I tossed my pencil onto the desk. I'm so bored. As I sat at my desk the next day, I remembered Konomi had invited me along to her club meeting. That was around a week ago.
私も一度帰省しますが、部活があるのですぐに帰ってきます。
You're enthusiastic as always.
夏休みは合宿があるんですよ。
Wow, I see. Even Vincent had banned students going off campus. Even Vincent, which had banned students going off campus, had a dedicated training camp, huh?
そうだ。マサヤ様もご一緒にいかがですか？
Huh? Me?
考えてみれば、まだマサヤ様とは手合わせしたことがありません。ですから。
I declined at the time, since I had no Naginata skills to speak of. but given how much time I had on my hands, it seemed like an attractive invitation. Rather, I would absolutely love to accept her invitation to go check out this camp lodge. That's how I felt about it anyway. Maybe we should go? Konomi was the one who offered, so at least I shouldn't be a bother.
合宿場私は遠慮しておくわ。
I see.
今日も暑いから歩くのちょっと辛そうだし。ごめんなさいね。
No, don't be. I asked her where the lodge was located. Based on her instructions, the path at the base of the mountain extended all the way to the lodge, so there was no need to worry about getting lost. Wow, there's a path like this here? I transferred to Vincent 3 months ago, but this was the first time I had learned this path even existed. Walking up this path really made it feel as though Vincent was located in the mountains. But it's so hot! Wiped the sweat from my brow. There was a fork in the road halfway up, but Reset advised me not to turn there. The lodge finally came into view about 30 minutes down the road. Oh, it looked plain in comparison to the school dorm, but it was still a nice building all the same. I circled the building in an attempt to find the dojo and heard a dignified voice cry out.
サナエ、振り上げはもっと鋭く。それじゃ、銅を打ってくださいと言ってるようなものだよ。
Yes, Konomi-sama!
リーはスネを打つとき、目線がいつも一瞬下がってる。それじゃ、相手に読まれるよ。
Yes! I was impressed and ended up watching their practice from the sidelines. Konomi was the youngest in our circle of friends and had a rather formal yet energetic nature. Maybe it was her disposition or the influence of her Naginata training, but she was always so humble and respectful towards everyone regardless of their age. As such, she would take a step back and stand at the ready behind her elders, Pritsuko in particular. But what about now, I wondered?
肩の力を抜いて、ユミ。力んでいるとうまく手を通わせられないから。
Yes! She was showing firm leadership and coaching her club members. Watching from the sidelines, I could tell just how much they trusted Konomi. She's amazing. While I was admiring her, a sudden scream knocked me from my stupor. Ah!
どうしたの?
A peeper!
覗き?
A peeper? Who? Wait, was she talking about me?
まさや様。
Yo! Safe for Konomi, all the girls stared at me with fearful eyes.
練習を続けていて。まさや様、正面玄関の方に回ってください。
Oh, sure. A short while later, Konomi appeared from the entryway.
どうしたんですか? ちょっとびっくりしましたが。
Sorry, I didn't mean to cause you any problems.
いえ、中期課程の方では実物を見たことがないって子も結構多いんです。まさや様のことですが。
I'm sure. With the exception of Konomi, everyone I interacted with was from final course. Intermediary course students were in a separate building, so I never had a chance to meet them before. I should have said something first, but I was just so impressed.
関心?
Are you, Konomi? Are you the club president, Konomi?
2学期が始まるまでは、そこで2年生にバトンタッチしますので。
I see.
それで、関心というのは?
You showed real leadership, and I couldn't help but think you looked really valiant, too. Huh? Konomi? She suddenly stiffened up. Calm down. She suddenly made a strange noise. What's wrong? It was making me nervous.
それでは、お尋ねしますが、マセヤ様。
Yeah?
私の一命、よりふさわしいのは、ラムサンメルシーの方であると、マセヤ様もそう思うわけですね。
I think I've heard that somewhere before. What does Lam Sol Merci mean exactly?
なんですと?
I like that expression. Oh crap, she was glaring at me now. No, wait, time out! I'll, remember right now? Oh, it's the Merciless Play, right? That's it, right?
そうですよ。
Now that I thought about it, Konomi had 2 titles. She told me about that time She told me about it that time we got into the bath together. What are you talking about? That's completely wrong! My true proper title is L'Homme Sans Merci. I don't fucking know how to say that. Merci sounds slightly wrong. I think it's actually right how I say it, but still sounds weird. I know. Yeah, she had said something like that before.
それで、どう思うのでしょう。私に真にふさわしい一名は、果たしてどちらなのか。
While you're in the middle of your club activities, I guess L'Homme Sans Merci definitely fits better.
いつでもと言ってほしかったところですが、まあいいです。そうですよね。私にふさわしい一名は、やはりラムサンメルシーの方なのです。
She had said as much in the bath before, but Konomi seemed to have this huge obsession with people referring to her as L'Homme Sans Merci, a title I had seldom heard. I don't think Mignon Poop is all that bad though.
それは一名をつけてもらえることは光栄なことだと思いますが。
A title's like a status symbol, isn't it?
ええ。
Konomi looked a bit shy. Well, I've never had the chance to see you in action during the club meetings, so never really hit me until today. Just seeing how you act during an ordinary school day. But maybe that's why people use your Mignon Pooper title more often?
残念です。校舎でもなぎなたを傾向できれば、そんなことにはならなかったと思うのですが。
I don't think that's a good idea. And I think it's questionable in itself too.
あるいは、なぎなた部を見物に来てくれれば。そういえば、マサヤ様、結局何をしにいらっしゃったのですか？
Oh yeah, I had just remembered something you told me, Konomi.
私が言ったこと？
About how we've never had a match, so why not practice together? As I said that I found myself thinking, now I've done it. Based on how I worded it, I sounded as if I wanted to spar with her. That obviously wasn't what I actually meant. I just wanted to watch her. There was a fire in her eyes now.
わかりました。マサヤ様。
She grabbed my hand firmly. For someone of such small stature, practicing the Naginata had made her unexpectedly strong.
それでは、早速道場の方へ。
Calm down, calm down. Bolt!
私、マサヤ様はぜひ、なぎなたか剣道をやるべきだと思っていたんです。だって、とてもいい体つきをしていますから。マサヤ様と手合わせできるなんて、私、嬉しいです。
Would feel bad if I turned her down after seeing how happy she looked. I said nothing as she dragged me all the way back to the dojo. Huh? Konomi and Masaya are holding hands!
これはそういうことじゃなくて。
Konomi steamed up in an instant.
マサヤ様が部活動に参加してくれるということだから。
What?! She stared blankly at that opposed reaction.
みんな、どうかした？
But, well... Come on, you know the girls in intermediate course don't know me very well. Somehow or another, Konomi had gotten used to having me around. That had to be the difference between their reactions. Konomi, I'm fine with us having a match, but, I prepared myself, then said, I'm totally new to this, so I doubt I'll be a good match for you.
大丈夫です。マサヤ様ならきっとすぐに強くなりますから。
She asserted with a smile. I took off my shoes and stepped into the dojo. Konomi talked to everyone, and they allowed me to participate in their club activities for the time being.
なぎなたは全くの初めてですか？
Yeah, Have learned about kendo in class before, but I've never actually handled the Naginata.
そうですか。ではまずは構えの練習から始めましょう。
Sure. Konomi went to grab a Naginata alongside the wall.
みんなは稽古を続けていて。
All of the club members resumed practice, but their curiosity had gotten the better of them, and they often glanced over at us.
なぎなたの受け渡しには作法があります。細かいことのようですが、甘く見ると怪我をしますので、マサヤ様も注意してください。
Got it. I'd only come here to watch, but seeing how serious Konomi looked got me fired up too. She stood the Naginata upright, turned the pointed, curved side towards herself, and then handed it to me.
歯は相手には向けないようにしてください。受け渡しは両手で行います。
With the way a Naginata is shaped, like the fact that she had the pointed side towards her meant that the blade was facing Masaya. Unless it's some weird contraption. Actually, no. If it's what this described, because curved side makes it sound like this side. A pointed side makes it sound like this side, because the point points that way, while the curve goes that way, basically. Like the curve still goes that way, but like you see the outside of the curve, not the inside as the curve. So it sounds like the blade, like it sounds like she's mentioning the blade. And basically, since she has the pointed side, so this side facing herself, she is handing it over with the blade pointed towards Masaya. Like, if that was the case, what she would be handing over would be a war scythe. And yes, those are actually a thing. Hold up. Can I pull this up right now? Google Pictures. War scythe. Hold on. There we go. Let's just open up add. Let's just do display capture. Yes. No, wrong display capture. There we go. There we go. Like, this is a war scythe. This is what a war scythe looks like, roughly. Like, this is the blade and all that. Anyways, so yeah. And this is a Naginata. Alright, let's just open this here. So basically, it looks like this side looks like she's it sounds like she means this side when she says the curve, but when she says the pointed end, it's that side. Sounds like she means this side. So what it sounds like is so the description makes it sound like, you know, it's a war scythe. Metal Gear Rising sword? What? Huh. That's neat. Like, the thing is, I don't know too much about, like, I only have a very elementary knowledge of weaponry. Like, I'm very interested in it, but I've just never been able to get my ass in gear and actually look up some information and learn. I've just never been able to actually, like, basically get off my ass. But yeah, now I made obvious what I meant by this, so yeah. Anyways, okay. She passed the Naginata over into my hands. The impression I got now that it was in my hands was that it didn't have the sort of weight I expected from its appearance. It probably only weighed a couple pounds. Like, the thing is, sure, it's way longer than a katana, but there's way less metal. Like, the rest is usually probably like a wooden shaft. And a wooden shaft is a lot lighter than, you know, a metal blade. So I would actually imagine a Naginata being a lot lighter than a katana, personally. However, it spanned a far greater distance than my own height. Wielding this like it would be reasonably difficult. It's a totally different feel from a bamboo sword.
でしょうね。長さがだいぶありますから。
Yeah, I'm really surprised by how long it is.
この長大な獲物を扱うために、薙刀にはいくつか特徴的な手さばきがあります。
Huh?
まあ、それは後にしましょう。まずは構えからです。
Yes. She picked up her own naginata and demonstrated for me.
まずは最も基本となる中段です。構えにはそれぞれ左右がありますが、これが左中段。左足を前に出して半身の体勢になり、腕は自然に下ろした状態で、切っ先は相手の溝落ちに合わせてあります。
I figured it was a fundamental stance, that it wouldn't be a big deal at all, but I was left wide-eyed. To be specific, because the way she conducted herself was so very magnificent. Her back was stretched perfectly straight. I was convinced she could react and counter any attack that came at her when I saw her point her naginata unwaveringly at my solar plexus.
何か。
は？
ああ、何やらボケっとしていましたので。
Oh, I'm sorry.
では次に下段の構えに行きますよ。下段は
We are now on an afternoon break, and we decide to make our own lunch.
よかったらマセイ様もいかがですか？
Huh? Are you sure? Really?
はい、たくさん作ってありますし。
Thank you. I would be happy to have some then.
マサヤ様は筋がいいです。食べ終わったらまた稽古に励みましょう。
Yeah? We decided to eat lunch along the shore of the nearby lake. I was surprised to see a lake on top of everything else, but I would have personally preferred to eat in the dojo. What with the floral aroma of the girl's scent hanging in the air. By God, you're a creepo. I knew that was a very perverted sounding comment, but I really did like the bittersweet aroma of sweat. No, really! What the fuck is wrong with you, Masaya? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Who the heck am I talking to? Maybe hanging around and exercising with the underclassmen was short-circuiting my brain. I'd practiced kendo in the middle of last summer, and it was just awful. A stifling aroma of manly musk was enough to ruin even my healthy appetite. But it smelled nothing like that in the dojo earlier, regardless of the fact that there was just as much sweat wafting in the air. Girl sweat is nice. Masaya. Just shut up, Masaya. Club members showed up after a short while, and Konomi followed after them, carrying a pot with both hands.
お待たせしました。
I can carry that.
いえ、いいのです。この重たさも修行のうちです。
It is? As usual, Konomi was fired up in more ways than one.
今日はカレーです。今日はというか、今日もですが。
Did you make it in advance?
はい。作るのに結構時間がかかりますし、お腹が空いたらすぐにでも食べたいですからね。
I really liked how upfront she was about it. You're so cute, Konomi.
なんですか急に。
Oh, crap, I messed up. Forgetting how heartwarming it was and how worn out I was from practicing, I had said exactly what I had been thinking. No, since you were scarfing down your meals in the cafeteria this morning, I thought it was cute how you were kind of a glutton, I guess?
仕方がないんですよ。運動しているせいか、お腹がすくんです。
Oh, I didn't say it was a bad thing. Club members watched the exchange between Konomi and I, looking utterly astounded. Wow, there's a place like this on Mount Amuro? A cool, comfortable breeze was blowing in from across the lake. This is nice. Maybe even nicer than eating at the dojo.
それはそうだと思 いますが。
Another slip of the tongue! I scratched my head and gave an ambiguous laugh. Now that everyone had their food in hand, they formed a circle and started eating. Konomi was in the center. Setting aside her position as club president, she seemed to be extraordinarily popular with everyone. I guess that's a given, considering how cute and strong she is. Thought it would be bad if I interrupted and set off in the corner. It's delicious. The veggies were a little disproportionate, but there was something special about homemade curry while looking out at the lake. There was a total of 6 members of the Naginata Club, which made it the smallest club on campus.
武道をやりたがる子なんてあんまりいないんです。
Konomi revealed to me as we were practicing stances. There were so few members in this club, but they could certainly talk up a storm. That said, they mostly talked about Naginatas, and I heard something about their next tournament. Do they have a tournament sometime soon? After lunch, it was back to practice. The characteristic handwork Konomi mentioned before had been referring to operating a Naginata.
ナギナタの特徴は何といってもその長さにあります。南北朝時代より前は長い刀と書いてナギナタというのは祖母の受け売りですが、別の構えに移行する際に左右の手を持ち替えたり。
From her middle guard stance, she raised her blade while simultaneously shifting it between her hands, taking a striking stance.
またナギナタを短く持つ動作を繰り込み、長く持つ動作を繰り出しと言います。
Oh boy. Konomi slid her hands inward.
コテ
After striking the forearm, she returned to her middle guard stance.
メン
The dizzying, flowing movement of her Naginata wouldn't even be conceivable in Kendo. After performing that last move, she stood the Naginata on the floor on its end, taking a neutral stance.
長さがある分攻撃力が高いのがナギナタの大きな長所ですが、それだけ扱いにくいということでもあります。力任せに振り回しても隙が生まれるばかりです。ということでマセヤ様はまずは構え、そして振り方と覚えていてください。
Yes. Konomi was far more knowledgeable on the subject than I was, so I ended up answering her like so. Practice ended upon the setting of the sun.
マセヤ様は初めてここに来たのですよね。であれば万一のことがあってはまずいので私が付き添います。
Sorry for the trouble, but thank you. The club members were staying at the lodge, but there was no telling what the headmistress would say if I were to do the same. As such, I decided to head back to my dorm room.
ちょっと待っててくださいね。懐中電灯を持ってきます。
Yeah, there were no lights lining the mountain trail, and while we could use the light from the stars, having a flashlight would probably be best.
私、暗いのが苦手でして、懐中電灯もなしではとても歩けません。
What was the real reason, huh? That reminded me, she seemed really uneasy that time when we got trapped in the bathroom and the power went out. Konomi was so cute back then. We were nestled up close in nothing but a swimsuit. The place didn't give me any emotional breathing room at the time, but looking back on it, we did have a nice mood going. We don't need to recall that night. Yeah, thinking back on it now, we really did have a nice mood going.
どうしたんですか？ニヤニヤして。
What?
驚かせてしまいましたか？すみません。
Oh, no, right, curry this afternoon taste is really good. I was just thinking about it.
そうですか？みんなあまり料理は得意ではないのですが。
Oh, no, I mean it.
でも、野菜などを切るのは自信があります。
Huh? They were actually cut pretty unevenly.
こう、空中に放り投げてですね。列白の気合とともに、ズバズバズバッと。
You shouldn't play with your food. When I laughed, she broke into a wide smile. Compared to how things were before, it felt like we had gotten much closer. However, it felt like we rarely exchanged natural smiles like this. Was this because of how hard we worked together in the club meeting all day? Okay, shall we? Gets pretty dark at night, huh?
はい。そうなんですよね。
The tree cover was so dense that the starlight was having a tough time shining through.
合宿の時、肝試しなんていう話も持ち上がるのですが、私は断固参加を貫きました。こんな暗い道で肝試しなどと、本物の幽霊を呼び寄せてしまったらどうするですか？
Well, it would be a good place for it, considering the atmosphere. Yeah, the airflow through here feels lukewarm too. Konomi seemed to be really timid. The title of L'Homme Sans Merci fit her surprisingly well, but she also had this cute side to her. That only made her more attractive. It is scary. Thank you for coming with me. I'm kind too. By the way, do you have a tournament coming up soon?
はい。2週間後に全国大会が迫っているんです。
National tournament? You're going to be in it?
ええ。
Wow, that's amazing! I wasn't expecting that. Looked at her in admiration and she ducked her head shyly. If you're going to be in the upcoming nationals, that means you were in the national qualifiers too. I never knew.
私、去年も全国大会に出ているのですが。
That how she looked? Was Konomi really that strong? She usually had my respect.
決勝で負けてしまいました。相手の名をヨーガエミリさんと言います。エミリさんとは今年もおそらく当たることになるはずです。私は今度こそ負けたくない。中期課程の最後の大会ですからね。もちろん後期に上がってもなぎなたは続けますが、それはそれ。最後まで負けるというのは何としても避けたいところです。
Was that why she was so energetic yesterday? It will surely be difficult, but I cannot afford to relax now. Then, I'm sorry, I just nonchalantly interrupted you with all this going on.
いえ、いいんです。稽古は積み重ねです。たった一日の行動で左右されるものではありませんから。
I wasn't expecting to go out today, but I ended up enjoying it. Namely, because I wanted to watch over Konomi's practice from close by. She was working so hard to accomplish her goals. It was radiant to behold. I won't get in your way anymore, so... Would it be okay if I came to your club meetings from now on? She seemed surprised for a moment, and then gave me a pleasant smile.
もちろんです。
Thank you so much. I'll be okay from here.
はい。では、また明日。ごきげんよう。
See ya. Konomi left. I saw her off until I could no longer see her tiny frame. Even I thought this was an unexpected development. Before I left my room today, I was simply taking advantage of the spare time I wanted to kill. Now here I was, waiting eagerly for tomorrow. Alright, gotta do my best. The next day I proceeded to practice by myself so I wouldn't get in anyone's way. Stance transitions, defensive movements, and swinging of my Naginata. I had dropped it repeatedly when I first started, but after a bit of practice it eventually felt natural in my hands. Thus began the virtuous cycle when it started to become fun, and that helped me improve more and more. By midday I felt this new sensation like the Naginata was an extension of my own hands.
マセア様はやっぱり器用なんですね。
You think so?
初めて2日であんな風になぎなたを扱える人はめったにいませんよ。
The club members all nodded enthusiastically. Their gazes had gotten much softer than they were yesterday. It's pretty fun. I really do like getting exercise.
すごいと思います。これならすぐにでも手合わせができますね。
Yeah, maybe once the tournament is over.
大会なんでですか？
Why? Because it would be bad if I got in your way. No, think about it like this. If you got good enough to actually have a match with her, that would be training for her. Because what it sounds like right now, she's basically training on her own. That's what it sounds like, at least. So actually having a skilled training partner would be beneficial for her.
いえいえ、そんなことはありません。この調子であれば、マサヤ様はきっとめきめき上達するはずです。であれば、互角の稽古もできるはずです。
No way, that's not possible. Wait, man, but Konomi just gazed at me even more seriously. Well, I do intend to work hard so I can make that happen. About 1 week into summer vacation, our circle of friends returned to Vincennes, and things grew lively rather quickly. However, I continued going to the lodge each day, just as I had before. I couldn't just up and quit the Naginata Club because I had less free time now. No matter what, my plan was to at least see how well the tournament panned out, and I would go from there. The tournament was scheduled for August 5th and was to be held in a city nearby.
開催地は毎年移動します。今年は割合近くて助かりました。
Was it far away last year? Konomi nodded.
それで前日にホテルに泊まったのですが、顧問の行方先生がちょっとうるさくて弱ってしまいました。
Noisy? Like scolding you or something? When I asked, everyone simultaneously broke into amused laughter.
いびきです。
Oh, thank God. I was thinking something different.
ただでさえ慣れないホテルで夜は全然寝られなくて、エミリさんに負けたことの言い訳にするつもりは決してありませんが、ただ今年は去年よりはいいコンディションで臨めそうです。
I see. Do your best, okay? By the way, your advisor doesn't show up? I hadn't seen her once since I'd been here.
行方先生はなぎなたの指導者というわけではないんです。ですので普段はいらっしゃいません。
That explained why Konomi regularly acted as their leader. Konomi sure is amazing. She was shouldering the responsibility of the entire club on her tiny shoulders. I was impressed by her all over again. And then, one of the club members and I each took up a middle guard stance. Next, I transitioned into a striking stance and took the initial offense. Leg! Rin responded by retreating with a short backstab while simultaneously swinging her Naginata overhead. Head! I brushed the attack away, but then she used that force to strike at me again. Head! Neither of us were wearing protective gear, so we stopped short just before our hits landed. We were practicing the strike counter technique so that we could become fully accustomed to everything from changing stances to maintaining our alertness after striking. Next, my opponent took a back guard stance. Just! After I blocked her blow with my blade, she followed up by taking another swing in my chest. Then I drew my forefoot behind me, changed my facing, and struck back at her head. Hut! Finally, we returned to our original positions while taking mutual middle guard stances. After a quick bow and murmurs of adulation filled the dojo.
1週間でだいぶ上達しましたね、マセヤ様。
Thank you. I was happy I'd done well too. Even if I comprehended the striking and countering procedure in my head, I couldn't quite get my body to move in kind. I was reasonably clumsy at first, but I was able to pull it off decently this time around.
では明日は試合稽古といきましょう。武道はやはり実際に戦ってこそですよ。
Yeah. I focused hard on practicing the strike counter technique in preparation for tomorrow, right up until our practice time came to an end. Just as I was about to go home at the usual time, a voice called out to me from the entryway.
マセヤ様。
Konomi!
毎日のように下とここを往復していて面倒ではありませんか？
More or less, it is hot.
ですよね。それで私 昼間のうちにお姉様に電話をして頼んでおいたんです。
What kind of favor?
校長先生へのお願いです。マサヤ様が合宿所に泊まれるように。私やマサヤ様が行っても多分無駄でしょうし。構いませんよね。合宿所に泊まっても。
Oh, yeah, of course, Egon. I don't. Wow, that makes me really happy.
やっぱり相当面倒だったのですね。
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I just thought you'd do something like that just for me, Konomi.
何言ってるですか。そういうあれじゃなくてですね。私は純粋に熱中症などをあれしたというか。
Yeah, I know.
それに、あと、マサヤ様は本当に筋がいいです。ぜひ稽古に専念してみるべきかと思います。
Yeah. We had no idea if I could stay at the lodge or not yet, as Ritsuko was asking for the favor right then. Probably not. I'm go ahead and guess not. So, is the headmistress at school today?
みたいです。お姉様がそうおっしゃっていました。
Speaking of Ritsuko, she had planned on visiting home for the entire summer vacation, but cut it short and came back early. She explained that it was just to act as sister's chaperone.
希望が通ればいいのですが。
Yeah. One more week until the tournament, huh?
はい。当日のことを思うと、武者震いが走るというか、気合がみなぎってきます。
Your opponent was your guy, right? Is she really strong? Konomi nodded with a grave expression.
私と同じで、幼少の頃からやっているんです。攻めるのも受けるのもうまいですが、読みの鋭さは大したものがあります。去年、私はスネを狙うと見せかけて、銅を打つ作戦だったのですが、あっさり読まれてしまいました。あの時撃たれた面の衝撃、私は今でも忘れることができません。
You've been practicing the Naginata since you were little too, Konomi?
はい。祖母が道場の師範をやっているんです。番宣部に入るまでは祖母に稽古をつけてもらっていました。
That's right, Konomi enrolled as an intermediary course student, hadn't she? In order to be recognized as a genuine feeder of a sen, you had to be enrolled since primary course. She wasn't genuine in that sense. It really was a big deal that she happened to have 2 titles.
ちなみに、道場の名を、実践なぎなた道、残生館と言います。真剣だって大量に持っているのですよ。
Something told me using Naginatas in modern warfare would end badly. But I got it now. Wonder if it's because you trained so hard under your grandmother.
何がですか?
You've never made any attempt to spar with the other club members. I was just wondering why that might be. Once I said that, she looked upset.
ええ、そうなんです。こんな言い方も自慢するようでよくありませんが、勝負にならないので。
Konomi was a swordswoman capable of making it to the national finals after all. You could find plenty of sparring partners if she had gone to a specialized school, but that wasn't the case here at Vincennes. On top of that, her advisor doesn't actually participate in club activities. Despite all that, she had made it to the nationals 2 years in a row. Honest to God, as this is going on, all I can think about is our boy Toru from Sakura Sakura. Like, if you haven't watched or played Sakura Sakura, the beginning is a goddamn slog. But it gets better, and then when the 2 Sakura routes are done, you have to slug yourself through the routes for Naoki. Like where you play as Naoki instead of as Toru. And after you slog yourself through those, you get like 2 epilogues for the 2 Sakuras, and those are really good again. And basically, our boy Toru, he one strong mofo. He's a goddamn kendo champ, but doesn't fucking like it anymore. Except when he joins the kendo club again in the Sakura's route. Anyways, to me, the petite underclassman walking alongside me looked absolutely radiant. Couldn't help but find Konomi to be dazzling ever since I joined the club. Listen, I think you're really amazing, Konomi. I don't get to hear this title very much in Final Course, but I've come to realize that L'Âme sans Merci really does suit you best.
それは、どうもありがとうございます。
Although I definitely don't think that Darling Doll fits you poorly either.
何を言うですか？あなたはやっぱりタンタクルシェルパンです。
After seeing her face and ears flush a bright shade of red, I thought that she really was the mignon poupe.
それにしても少しではないですね。かなり驚きました。
That was the very first thing Nitsuko said after opening her mouth. About what?
マサヤ様がナギナタ部に参加しているということがです。
Ah.
それで私、好みが無理に誘ったのではないかと電話で話した時に聞いたのですが、そんなことはないとのこと。
Yeah, it was more like I was the one who pushed for it, in fact.
一体どういう風の吹き回しなのですか？好みは喜んでいましたが。
Well, it just kinda seemed to work out that way.
なんとなくどころではありませんよ。
Huh? I stood there astounded when she refuted me all of a sudden.
私にはわかります。ええ、わかりますとも。マサヤ様にはきっと、人斬りの血が流れている。
Excuse me! Trying to tell me that he's gonna be fighting Templars next. You gonna go for that? Like you gotta tell me that he's gonna go out and fight a piece of Eden. That was going on. I've only played one Assassin's Creed in my life. That one, however, was Black Flag, and I enjoyed the fuck out of it. However, I am bad at stealth games. Like, I really like stealth games, but I'm really bad at them. Anyways, also, why is an assassin's blood bold? Whoops. Her enthralled reply was so dangerous, it left me even more astounded than before.
そうでなくて、短期間のうちにあれだけ腕が上達しますか。マスヤ様、生まれる時代を間違えましたね。
Hey, come on.
もう、この見ったら、嬉しそうな顔をして、妙なことを言わないの？妙でしょうか。神に会う手は神を切り、仏に会う手は仏を切る。これこそが剣士の本然であると祖母に教わりましたが。
That sounds a bit too violent. But I'm not a swordsman.
いえいえ、私にはわかります。ええ、わかりますとも。マサエ様には触れれば指が落ちるような鋭さがあります。
His mind sure doesn't have that same sharpness, though. Was that supposed to be a compliment?
好み、それはもういいから、そろそろ行くわよ。あ、はい。マサヤ様はここで待っていてください。その方がおそらく話が早いと思いますので。
Gotcha. I agreed as well. Both of them returned after about 10 minutes.
許可されました。
How? Oh, really? I was honestly surprised. I expected to hit Mr. Sir Grey.
最初は当然のように難色を示したのですが、好みが。
Like, Konomi just started gushing, and Mr. just like, okay, please, calm the fuck down. He's cassette for directing a warm gaze her way.
熱く主張したんです。母さん、校長先生は目を白黒させて、結局最後には惚れました。
But Jesus Christ, take a chill pill. All right, he's allowed. Please, just give me some breathing room. I see. Thank you, Konomi.
これで、マサヤ様は正式な合宿の参加者となりました。明日からはさらに厳しくしごきますよ。
Don't go too hard on me. That night, I told everyone I would be staying at the lodge starting tomorrow.
なによ。せっかくマサヤくんと遊ぼうと思って戻ってきたのに、全然遊べないじゃない。
I'm sorry.
謝ることはありませんよ。部活に精を出す。これは夏休みのいい過ごし方ではないでしょうか。
Yeah.
でも急にどうしたの？マサヤがナギナタだなんて。
I've never done so in my entire life. I just felt like it. I've apparently got the blood of an assassin running through me.
何よそれは。
Ask Konomi.
まああれでしょ。年若い女の子に混じって、年若い女の子が赤い顔で汗を流す姿を見たかったんでしょ。
You don't need to repeat it twice. What's with that description? Like you've come and seen it yourself.
うわぁ、マサやったら不潔。
It's not like that, so don't just decide that's how it is on your own.
違うの？汗とか気にならないの？
But, well, it does catch my attention in a really vigorous way. When the dojo gets sweltering, it's filled with the floral scent of sweat, and in spite of that, or maybe because of it, it makes me want to take in a deep breath. You're my God. What did I say about a black mental sharpness? I don't know what I'm doing. Help. I just earlier mentioned that, by God, his head isn't as sharp as what Konomi is describing his body to be. Ah!
思いっきり答えてるんだけど。
Ah!
しかも聞いてないことまで。バカ。マサヤさんたら、校長先生に頼み込んだことを今猛烈に後悔しています。
No, it isn't like that. I was just kidding. I mean, I wasn't kidding, but it was just a small part of a reason. A ridiculously small part.
結局どういうことよ。
Basically, I want to be nearby to give Konomi my support.
Oh.
I hadn't meant to say anything strange, but you and the others reacted with dazed expressions. Is that weird?
いや、変ではないけど。
Aka replied as if representing everyone present.
それにしても、なんだか急な話じゃない？
Konomi is competing in the nationals next month on the 5th, so...
うん、それは知ってるけど。
Oh, you do? I wouldn't know it.
いろんな意味でひ弱なうちの生徒が武道で全国大会だものね。去年なんか大騒ぎだったわよ。
So it did. I may have been a part of the reason why she was given her title.
マサヤさんはそのこと、初めて知ったの？それで大いに感心してしまったとか？
Yeah, this is still new to me, but that's not all. I'm not sure how to put this. Ever since I joined the Naginata Club, Konomi just seems so radiant to me. Man, in reality, she's amazing. She carries the Naginata Club on those petite shoulders of hers. She shows true leadership and works really hard to prepare for the tournament. She's really dazzled me. Yeah. For some reason, everyone slowly migrated into the corner of the room during my admiration-filled ramble.
どうしたんだろう、あの人急に。うっとりとしていました。目がキラキラ輝いていて、むしろマサヤさんの目の方が眩しいですが。確かに。
I can hear all of you.
なんだか急に暑いわね。もしかして、好みに惚れたの？
No, not really. That isn't,
ふーん。動揺してる。これはひょっとすると、それこそ、朝のフローラルの力でしょうか。
Okay, shut up for a bit, Rodrigo. I can still hear all of you. Ahem! After loudly clearing my throat, everyone returned to their original positions. Anyway, I've always liked sports. So with that being said, I just want to support her. That's really all there is to it.
はいはい。まあいいんじゃない。まさやくんが応援してくれるなら、好みだって喜ぶでしょ、きっと。そうですね。いずれにしろ、部に引き入れたくらいなので、一緒に汗を流したいという気持ちは、確かにあるのでしょうね。
Yeah.
それ自体は結構なことですが、まさや様、私たちが校長先生に頼み込んだこと、後悔させないようお願いします。
Yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Why does it feel like being treated like a criminal? The path up the lodge wasn't as a terrible incline, but it was still rough, making trips back and forth along it at this time of year. But still rough making trips back and forth along it at this time of year. The air wasn't as humid as it was in the city, so that was a huge lifesaver. I was surrounded on all sides by the cries of cicadas and crisp heat. Oh, Konomi! I've been making trips here on a near daily basis until now, but this was the first time she had ever been waiting for me at the entranceway. What's the matter?
お出迎えです。今日から合宿所の一員ですから。
I see. Thank you. She might not have waited for me in this blazing heat. On a closer look, there were beads of sweat forming on her forehead. She had a bit of a strange side to her. But Konomi is a really nice girl. Thank you. Pat, 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 pat. Yes! Pat, pats! With that sudden thought, I subconsciously lifted my hand. For a moment, I thought she would say, "What are you doing?" But that wasn't the case at all. In fact, she seemed pretty happy. I'm happy you came here to meet me. I brushed her ever so slightly sweaty hair. Just as I thought, she showed me a happy smile.
じゃあ、私はこれで。
Oh, yeah.
しばらく部屋で待っていてください。準備が済んだら呼びに行きますので。
Getting everything ready?
お昼のです。いつも稽古を始める前に作ってしまうので。
Oh, I see. Konomi explained before that she wanted to eat the second she got hungry, hadn't she? Why don't I help you out from now on?
料理のですか？
Yeah. I would feel bad if all I did was eat your food without actually helping.
まさや様、料理ができるんですか？
I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but Konomi looked very surprised. Anyhow, my parents got divorced really early on. I guess I picked it up out of necessity.
男子厨房に入らずなんて祖母がよく言っていたので、それでちょっとびっくりしたんです。
Your mother's starting to sound really suspect. Like your grandmother, not mother. Like your grandmother's starting to sound really suspect. Are you sure she's mentally all right? The elderly might have that impression.
もしどうしても厨房に入るというなら、包丁の代わりに真剣を使うべきだなんてことも言っていました。
Yeah, her grandmother does have a problem. Her grandmother has a huge issue. Fiery aspects of Konomi may have been an influence of her grandmother.
でも、料理くらいできないよりはできた方がずっといいですよね。
Yeah, it's okay if I use a kitchen knife like normal, right?
もちろんです。常に触れただけでスパッといくほど研ぎに研いでいます。
That's not what I meant. They had curry and naan every day, so I decided to make a simple stir fry, thinking we should make something different once in a while. Ooh! Their reactions of admiration were a little embarrassing. I had worked in a kitchen at one point at one of my part-time jobs, so I was more or less used to handling a knife. After all the preliminary preparations were in order, I said, the rest won't take long to prepare, so I'll fry it up right before we eat. Unlike curry, this is much more delicious if you eat it fresh. Practice became much more frenzied with the tournament approaching. Konomi repeatedly performed strike counter practice. Unlike mine, her movements were light and flowed perfectly together. Honestly, it would have been nice if she could have some open sparring practice. Open sparring practice also went by the name matched rank practice. As the name implied, practitioners of similar skills sparred with each other. However, nobody in this club possessed equal skill to hers. That could be taken care of by going to her grandmother's dojo, but given Konomi's personality, there was no way she would abandon the club. Oh, sure. Thanks. Sorry to make you go to all the trouble, especially since I'm the one who decided to do all this. A very Konomi virtue. So she said, but one club member, Yumi, said, I will do that. You have your tournament coming up, Konomi. That was kind of a strange reaction. Huh? Yumi also looked puzzled. Sure. Okay, Masaya-sama, this way. Yeah. We moved to the corner of the dojo and Yumi explained how to put on the protective gear. However, it somewhat weighed on my mind that Konomi kept glancing over here all the while. It's done! Everyone excitedly crowded around me as I walked out to the lake shore with a pile of food in hand. Main course was pork, eggplant, and tomato stir-fry, garlic flavor, garnished with tomato salad. That was the menu I came up with after taking a cursory glance at the curry ingredients. We all sat in a circle and started eating. As the one who made it, all of their smiling faces made me happy. Rice was served to each person with the accompaniment arranged on a huge platter. It may have been all girls, but it ended up being a pretty sizable amount of feeds. It may have been 7 girls, but it ended up being a pretty sizable amount to feed 7 people. Okay, let's eat. Thank you for the food! Thank goodness. Everyone else broke out into smiles as well. I was worried if they would be edible or not. Everyone's a damn critic in these games. Watching everyone enjoy their meals made me think this is really nice to myself. After giving it some thought, I'd actually never joined in a club for real before. As such, I'd never experienced eating a communal meal with my fellow club members before. I've eaten at a soup kitchen plenty of times, but that's something entirely different. Something else entirely. Everyone who had been put off by my presence at first had quickly opened up to me. That made me happy too. It was a strange turn of events that initiated me into the club, but that wasn't a bad thing by any means. I think I just almost accidentally said memes instead of means. Ugh, I'm beat. Given the peace of mind that came with not having to walk back to my dorm room after practice today, it would appear I went a little overboard. I'm gonna head to bed. I grabbed my futon from the closet. This room wasn't originally attempted for multiple people to stay in, but I would, naturally, be sleeping here alone. So exhausted, my body felt like a sandbag. I thought for sure I would immediately doze off, but surprisingly, that wasn't the case. I was likely having trouble falling asleep because I was still basking in the happiness I felt from lunchtime. It was like the feeling you got the day before a big trip where you can't sleep, like the time of day has flipped backwards. I try to force myself to go to sleep, but that probably won't work, huh? I sluggishly picked myself up out of bed, deciding I might settle down if I went down and looked at the lake in the moonlight. Oh? I was a bit surprised to find us figures sitting in the moonlight. Everything around us was unexpectedly bright, illuminated by the light reflecting off the lake's surface. Couldn't see tell who was there, sitting on the water's edge. Konomi!
Masaya-sama.
What's wrong? It's awfully late. Every time he moves up to her, it sounds like he's just fucking making a mad dash for her. Huh? I lightheartedly called out to her, but her expression looked stiff. Maybe she's thinking about the tournament. She was mentally preparing herself. It would be bad for me to interrupt, but it didn't seem right to leave all of a sudden either, so I sat down beside her. I can't seem to fall asleep after what happened this afternoon. Huh? She seemed oddly surprised.
昼間というのは、その、
How everyone seemed to enjoy eating the meal I made. You might be thinking, what's the big deal about that, but... Until now, I've never really been a part of a group setting like that. I had friends, I mean.
そうなのですか?
I've had friends, I mean. I never really had a chance to take part in clubs. That's why I felt moved by how fun club activities were, today especially. So I can't seem to get any sleep. So I can't seem to get to sleep.
マシャヤ様は剣士としての才能があります。このまま続けるべきかと。
Yeah. Talent aside, I enjoyed taking part in the club.
私、なんだか変なんです。
I suddenly turned my attention to her. Her profile turned rigid again, just as it had been when I first arrived.
変に気になってしまって。
About the tournament? She shook her head in silence, giving it some thought it would be strange for her to say she's feeling strangely anxious about the tournament.
部活で疲れているのに眠れないなんて私には初めてです。
Have you calmed down a little?
はい。
Whatever it is that's worrying you, the tournament is coming up. Imagine that would work anyone up. Pulled my hand away for a moment. Her hair was so silky, it was pleasant just to touch it. You mentioned the venue is close by this time, right? Will you be leaving for it on the day off?
はい。朝早くに起きて顧問の行方先生と一緒に出発します。
What about everyone else in the club? Will they go root for you or anything?
それが今年はダメになってしまったんです。
Huh? But it was okay last year?
去年は部のみんなだけではなく学校の皆さんも応援団として来てくださったのですが
Students from Princess going on a trip in huge numbers was outrageous. The headmistress naturally intervened and ultimately banned other students from attending this year. That's terrible. Why it's summer vacation right now, so shouldn't the students be free to go wherever they please?
それはそうなのですが学校側から禁止されればみんなそれを守りますから
Was that the refined nature of the fille de la Vincennes? I had said that they were delicate before, and to some extent it looked like she'd hit the nail on the head. That's too bad. Too bad. I was totally on board with going to cheer for you. But there's no telling what the headmistress will do to me afterwards if I disobey her orders.
処分でもされたらことですから。いいのです。マサエ様はここで私の勝利を祈っていてください。
Yeah.
会場でもきっと気持ちは届きます。であれば、私は必ずあのエミリさんに。
Yeah. We gazed at one another and nodded. At that moment I noticed that at some point we had gotten exceptionally close to each other. When I first sat down beside her, there had been a sensible amount of space between us. But now we were terribly close. Close enough that we could kiss each other at any second. I could tell blood was rushing to my face from embarrassment.
私はもう帰ります。
Oh, yeah.
ごきげんよう。
She was blushing too. It was bright enough that I could tell with ease. Came out here to try and calm down, but now I felt even more worked up than before. I gotta clean my glasses real quick. So many dots. Is that the 31st? I'm guessing it's the 31st. 3 days after I started to wear the protective gear, I decided in sparring matches I participated in sparring matches for the first time. Sparring matches used a large amount of space. I thought me taking up the dojo right before the tournament would be bad, but...
何言ってるんですか。武道の醍醐味は実践ですよ。実践。
I didn't think the sparring match counted as real combat. I decided to take part in the match since she insisted on it. I was still inexperienced, so to start, I had the first year Miyako act as my sparring partner. Oh no, it's Miyako again! Where's Yamato? Why would Miyako be here if Yamato isn't? Konomi stood in the center, acting as a referee.
正面に。礼。
After bowing to the sparring area, we stepped forward.
互いに。礼。
We bowed to one another on either side of the line, and the match began. She's moving kind of sluggishly. It wasn't that she wasn't moving moving awkwardly. She was just genuinely moving at a slow speed. Physical strength must play a part in this. Naginata hardly weighed a thing, but it was long. So it was a difficult weapon to use, even under normal circumstances. As I watched my opponent's slow movements, I underestimated her and thought for sure she wouldn't hit me, but... Leg! Smack.
Snatty!
She took me out just like that. There was a lot of space between us, though. When your weapon exceeded 2 meters long, you kept an extraordinary amount of space between each other as well. I knew as much, but it still felt like she had leapt at me from out of nowhere. I came to understand that this was the first time after having a trial match. I came to understand this for the first time after having a trial match. Makes sense now. As the matches piled up, I came to grips with all sorts of things. Spacing, how I positioned my feet, handling my body, the movements of my hands, opportunities to strike. A number of points were scored against me at first, but I actually stood my ground and won a few matches by the afternoon. I made a request to the school kitchen and had them send ingredients to make food other than curry. Today's menu was sardine simmered with plum. The sourness seriously gets your appetite going in the summertime. I thought it would be nice to include some veggies with the dish, so I also prepared a lettuce green salad. Both were tasty, based on my taste test. Yeah, this came out great. Huh? There was a bigger commotion today than usual. By that, I didn't mean that anyone was fighting. In fact, everyone was all smiles. Sorry for the wait. Everyone excitedly crowded around me, just as I thought. Yep, acting like starved school kids again. Something about how they were acting was quite different. Masa, you really are amazing! Huh? Never would have thought you could fight like that after just 2 weeks of reading a Naginata. I was really surprised. Thank you. For that reason, they had gathered around and gazed at me with admiration. Of course that made me happy, but I felt a tickle at my back. Konomi was standing alone a short distance away, glaring angrily in our general direction. Why? Reason number 1 is a warning that I shouldn't get ahead of myself for winning a couple of matches. Reason number 2, because she was hungry but we weren't eating yet. I get the feeling that it's neither of those things. It's because they're crowding around her. I say that like all of y'all didn't fucking realize that as well. Like, by God. Let's eat for now! Sat down with a stiff smile before leaving the club members' circle. Must be hungry too, huh, Konomi?
Hi.
Reason number 3. All of those girls' eyes on me. Oh well, racking my brain about it isn't going to do any good. Guess I'll look for a chance to ask her about it. While this wasn't a tournament by any means, I made some great progress in matches against the lower-ranked club members. Yesterday, I finally won against Kikuno, the second highest-ranking club member, and today I was challenging the club president. There was an unusual degree of tension hanging in the air. Felt like they were watching with bated breath, wondering how the match would end.
Masaya-sama, これは真剣勝負です。お互い全力を尽くしましょう。
Yes, she had been strangely moody since earlier, but quickly reverted back to her usual self. We stepped onto the mat and bowed to each other on Kikuno's command. Begin!
Yeah!
Super intimidating. Hadn't even felt this from the second most skilled Kikuno. They both used the same middle guard stance, so why did it feel so different? Even though they were in the middle of we were in the middle of the match, I found myself thinking that there was something different about each and every one of her movements. It was the beautiful way she carried herself, the same as I had sensed the very first time I saw her practicing the Naginata. It was absolutely transcendent.
No!
In the end, I lost the point without being able to land a single hit on her, and got hit again and again until I eventually lost. The dojo was filled with sighs of astonishment. I guess anyone would have terrible odds against Konomi. But Matthew improved so quickly. I overheard such musings. I didn't wish to become stronger for my own sake, but for what would come afterward. I wanted to help Konomi improve her skills by becoming a useful sparring partner for her. Yes, that is right. Putting it this way makes me sound like a braggart, so I do not say it often, but they would be no match for me. No one wanted to engage in sparring practice with her, so I wanted to be that partner for her. Next, please!
Hi!
Our intense practice continued until sunset. The other club members continued to observe for the rest of the day, but no one said a word. Wrist! I swung the Naginata from behind at her wrist, but she nimbly dodged it. My stance was slightly shaking, and Konomi didn't fail to notice that opening. Head! Hit! The moment the match ended, everyone around us let out a heavier sigh than I'd ever heard from them before. Wouldn't say it was an equally matched fight, but I had certainly held my own. After removing the protective gear, the club meeting officially came to an end. Keeping that protective gear on for so long took a lot of perseverance, given how hard it was.
Masaya-samaはさすがですね。ここまで上達しているとは、正直思ってもいませんでした。
I wasn't able to score a single point on you, though.
初心者に一本でも取られるようでは、私は切腹者ですから。
You should really give up on that idea either way.
しかし、私はもしかすると攻撃力がなかったのでしょうか。
Huh?
途中からだいぶしのがれるようになってしまいましたから。
Yes, it definitely had gotten that way by the final match. If we were just talking in terms of persevering, I'd gotten to the point where I could do so quite well.
どう思いますか、マサヤ様は。
Sorry, I'm not really capable of making that sort of judgment call. But I did manage to react to your strike somehow, huh?
射神経がいいからでしょうか。
I tilted my head. Konomi's strikes were so fast there was no way I could react in time on sight alone. I had a feeling that reflexes didn't explain everything.
とにかく、マシア様、明日もぜひ稽古をお願いします。
Is it a thing of she telegraphs it too much? Or like she looks at where she wants to hit, and you can judge from that or something? Is it gonna be shit like that? Yeah, if you're okay with me, then of course. After getting into bed, I reflected on recent events as I stared up at the dark ceiling. Now that I thought about it, it really was strange. Why was I able to stave off Konomi's attacks? It seemed very important to me. As for why, the primary reason one practices was to negate your shortcomings. If a weak offense was Konomi's shortcoming, then we definitely needed to do something about it. My body was exhausted, but that thought kept my mind sharp. I wished to become Konomi's sparring partner. If sparring together would improve her abilities, then it meant all that hard work had paid off. Her strikes, strikes. My eyes jarred open. It's morning already. I'd been practicing in my dreams all night and felt like I hadn't gotten much sleep. After putting my futon away in the closet, I fell deep into thought. In my dream, what I witnessed yesterday, Konomi's movements repeatedly played out before me. It felt like I'd nearly caught on to something. I suddenly remembered something I had heard somewhere once before. Some chemist had come up with a hint to some sort of chemical formula in his dream. He must have contemplated those thoughts so much that he ended up influencing even his dreams. It would be great if the same thing had happened to me as well. My gloomy mood accumulated inside of me all throughout sparring practice. I stepped backwards and dodged her pointed strike. I could tell, just as I thought, I can tell somehow. I had intuitively caught on to when she was about to strike me. During our sparring matches, I could tell she wasn't aiming to score with every single strike. She showered you with strikes like you might scatter birdseed, and once your opponent was thrown off balance, she launched a vigorous strike. Given the difference in our skill levels, this was similar to a chess puzzle where I was steadily being forced into checkmate. Regardless, my hands moved subconsciously and I caught the strike to my leg with my blade. How I was able to stave her off like this? I've got it! Ow, 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 ow! I took a clean blow to the head when I dropped my guard, getting struck with more pain than usual.
Masaya-sama?
Ow, ow, ow! I figured it out!
何がですか?
The pattern to your attacks! I removed my mask and explained what I had noticed. Everyone from the club also gathered around. The pattern to Konomi strikes? What could it be? I wonder if he was able to counter her attacks because he figured that out. When you're about to launch a decisive strike, picked up my Naginata and demonstrated. You always lower the hand closest to the hilt for a second. Your elbow goes like this too. It's a subtle movement, so I'm sure anyone would miss it unless they were specifically looking out for it. But if you do take notice of it, you can tell. That ended up tipping me off. This seemed similar to a baseball pitcher's tells to me. Any difference in how they swing their arm before pitching a straight or a curveball would be a huge hint for the batter. That's how I was able to defend myself. Konomi's eyes went wide and she fell silent. Is that true? It couldn't be. You could hear their loud musings all around me. I'm sure any of you would have noticed if you had sparred with her one-on-one. After I said that, Kikino took a step forward. No, it is lucky you noticed because of who you are, Masaya. Although we have not been sparring, we have practiced together nearly every day for the last 2.5 years. Even I felt to notice it. And I don't know why I just speak everyone like that at this point. I should not speak the Kendo members like that, honestly. Konomi, did you notice your own tell?
いいえ、
She feebly shook her head.
全く。攻撃が相手に筒抜けだったなどと、本当にもう情けない話です。
Konomi?
でも、マサヤ様、ありがとうございました。今の助言のおかげで、私はもっと強くなれるはずです。
Yeah. That was exactly the sort of answer I knew she'd give.
大会はもう目前ですが、私は必ずこの弱点を克服してみせます。
Yeah, do your best.
はい。じゃあ、マサヤ様、早速稽古の続きを。
Want to have lunch first?
そうですね。
She'd gotten a little overzealous with practice. Today's menu: bok choy and fried sablefish miso with radish and scallop mayonnaise salad. My dishes were pretty popular, and it made me happy that everyone else enjoyed them, so I got kind of fanatical about it. Honest God, I really want a future. Like, I really want the after story for this just being in the future. He just kind of opened a restaurant, or like a little restaurant, and she's just basically taking care of the dojo nearby. And basically just the entire dojo comes to the restaurant for the meals. And that just sounds very heartwarming to me, honestly. It's ready! Just like before everyone crowded around when I reached the lakeside. Wow, I'm very impressed! Huh? If Konomi wins the championships thanks to this, you will have done us a great service, Masaya? Masaya? You're exaggerating. It really depends on how much effort she puts in herself. Oh, bad. I gently sidestepped her and kept moving forward. Konomi was annoyed again. It probably wasn't because she was bothered by what Yumi had said. Konomi wasn't like that. Which left... I said this half to myself as I prepared the meal. Let's focus our minds on our matches for now.
はい。
After that, the truly intense training began. She used the training dummy at first, but decided that wouldn't help her get the feel for it, so I acted as a practice partner from then on. This method would determine whether or not she was able to overcome her tell. Basically, it's gonna be a case of, while he is good, it's just like, he can see things better than the average person. Like, he has a very analytical eye. Is that gonna be the case? Anyways. Given my skill level, she should be able to score a point on me easily, no matter how hard I focus on defense. The eve of the tournament had come. She would be leaving early tomorrow morning, so the plan was to descend the mountain by the evening at the latest. However, we continued practicing even after the sun had set. Konomi, if you overexert yourself, it will affect you tomorrow. Unable to sit by and watch, your classmate Kikuno spoke up. But Konomi just shook her head.
正直に言うと、私はずっとわからなかったの。去年、エミリさんにどうして敗北したのか。それが分かったわけだから。だったら、克服できないまま会場に出発したところで、結果は見えているから。
Kikuno had backed down in silence. I decided I would cut her off in the end. Only the sound of both of our breathing could be heard in the dojo. Konomi had all but begged everyone to leave ahead of us. This is the end, huh? Sprinted from the sweat pouring from my forehead. I was reaching my upper limit, so that probably applied even more so to Konomi, who had been enthusiastically striking at me.
Yeah! No!
I hadn't reacted to the blow, and it definitely wasn't due to exhaustion. Konomi? All the strength had left her hand, and she let her Naginata fall. He subsequently sat weakly on the floor and looked up at me.
Masaya-sama.
You did it. I'm sure you'll win now. Konomi rubbed the corners of her eyes.
私、必ず勝ちます。勝って、ご報告を。
That's a massive red flag, and I'm not talking about the communist flag. Not communist, the Soviet Union, that's what I meant. You know what, fuck it, forget what I said, fucking forget what I said. Actually, the Nazi Germany flag is also red. Like, typical Nazi thing is also red. I should just stop, honestly. Like, I'm just digging myself deeper. Oh boy, I just noticed that the pressure's on the background again! Fuck off! I said fuck off! There we go. Disapproving Miyabi is better. Nice tits. Anyways. I need the fucking fan disc! Please! Sekai Project! Stop fucking torturing me! Anyways, yeah. I squeezed her hand tightly. It occurred to me that this was a bold move on my part, but at this moment I had no doubts. At the same time, and the same went for Konomi. She squeezed my hand back and then gave me a mighty nod. Not good, I can't sleep. I was totally worked up, but I guess it's only natural I'd be excited. I had helped Konomi and she was able to overcome her weakness. She now had her sights on taking the championship at tomorrow's tournament. At the very end of our sparring practice, we held hands and had a very nice mood going. If this wasn't enough to get me excited, then what could? Konomi was so cute earlier. Her face was bright red as she rushed off. To me, Konomi was unusually pure for a modern girl in various ways. She had a one-track mind. She instantly blushed at everything. I would wonder if she was mad, only to find her smiling the next moment. She was completely straightforward and honest in everything she did. It's kind of strange. Of course I would be excited, but at some point along the way, Konomi was always on my mind. That made it harder and harder for me to sleep. I sat upright in the darkness. I wonder if Konomi is out by the lake. I was as dead tired as you'd expect, so I stayed here tonight and would go back to the dorms early tomorrow morning. She may not have been able to sleep either, even if she was worn out. If she was by the lake, I wanted to talk to her for a little bit. Huh? Hearing the sound of water startled me enough to send my heart leaping into my throat. Wonder where all were those suspicious splashing sounds. Only Konomi and myself would be on Mount Amuro right now. I hid myself in the trees and timidly pushed ahead. Konomi was pouring water on herself, dressed in a single garment of underwear. Is she going to be alright doing that? What I felt first was concern for her health. It was quite cold in the mountains at night, so to the point where you'd freeze if you got wet. The tournament was tomorrow. Konomi would be putting herself at a huge advantage if she caught a cold now. Still, it wasn't like she was foolish. She must have been aware of that and was doing so anyway. Whoops. Huh? She was whispering something. The whole area was quiet aside from the echoes from the water. I could probably make it out if I listened closely. Konomi was probably performing an act referred to as a cold water ablution. Setting the religious connotations aside, she was doing it in order to clear her mind. Having such an important tournament close at hand only served to disrupt her concentration all the more. Either way, it was painful for me to watch her lean, petite frame shaking so hard. Wait! Wasn't this peeping? She was practically half naked. This was a total crime. Quietly backed away, careful not to make any noise. My whole body froze in place. I was stiff as a board, predicting I would suffer a crushing blow from behind any second. Contrary to my expectations, I heard the sound of water again from the same location. Oh, she didn't see me? I was incredibly relieved and left for shore this time. Huh? The question suddenly occurred to me as I made it back to the entryway. Why had she said my name then? I mentioned it earlier about how his mental sharpness doesn't quite live up to that. Huh? Oh, whatever! I can't yawn right now, so actually I could. Like, the second I said that, I could feel a yawn coming. Fuck you. Something told me it was important, but unfortunately I was so tired that my brain wasn't functioning. Your brain doesn't function usually anyways, so don't worry about it. It's about time I got some sleep. After laying my head on the door, I turned back. I sure hope she doesn't push herself too hard. Oh, I checked the time on my cell phone and ended up swearing out aloud. Fuck! Damn it. I totally overslept. I was planning to walk down the mountain with her, but it was already past 9 o'clock by the time I woke up. I was slept by 3 whole hours. Oh, I let that dimwitted cry and picked myself up. Then, I noticed a piece of paper on the tea table and picked it up. It was an untidily handwritten letter. A note from Konomi.
よくお休みのようでしたので、起こさず出発することにします。マサヤ様、この度は本当にありがとうございました。もしも私が大会で優勝できたら、それはマサヤ様のおかげです。
Konomi.
結果はすぐに電話でご報告します。楽しみに待っていてください。
Yeah. I carefully folded up the stationery. Strange events had led to me living at this lodge, and I was truly glad I had come from the bottom of my heart. Do you need something? Next thing I knew, my usual group of friends were staring at me from the doorway, starting with Rise.
いえ、用というほどのことはないのだけど。
She shot me a subtly uncomfortable smile and walked into the room.
何しているのかと思って。
Huh? What I'm doing? My plain reply made her eyes go wide.
さっきからぐるぐると歩き回っているじゃない。それでみんな不思議に思っていたというわけよ。
I hadn't even realized I was doing it.
それでどうかしたの？
Oh, I'm just freaking out while waiting for Konomi to report back, so I started pacing.
もしかして妊娠でもさせた？
I will beat you to a bloody pulp. Ha!
部屋の中を行ったり来たりなんて奥さんの出産を待つ若い旦那って感じじゃない。
What are you talking about? Obviously that's not it.
冗談よ。今日はなぎなた大会の日だったわよね、確か。
ええ、朝メールが来ていました。行ってきますと。そっか、そういえば今日だったわね。今年は校長先生に応援を禁止されてしまったでしょ。悔しいから日時もちゃんとは覚えていなかったわ。あんたなぎなた部の夏合宿に参加していたんだよね。それで気にしているんだ。
Yeah.
でも急にどうしたのよ、なぎなたなんて。ずっと不思議に思っていたんだけど。
Well, there's not really a reason for it.
ははこれはやっぱり私が言ったことが正しかったのかしらね。
姉さん、何か言ったっけ？
妊娠よ。
冗談じゃなかったの？
妊娠というのは遠い未来の話。要するに、まさやくん、好みのことが好きなの？
Huh? Like this, Ayaka says that. He just sits down on the couch, just leans back, thinks for a bit. You know, that might actually be true. Thinking about it. I'll get back to you on that one. But where did that come from all of a sudden?
急なのはまさやくんの行動の方でしょ？そういう気持ちがあるからわざわざ往復1時間もかけて合宿所に通っていたのかななんて思っていたんだけどね。
It's not that far.
言い訳言わなくてもいいじゃない。
あら、なんだか随分と真剣なのね。じゃあ本当に。
No, I'm not sure yet. Konomi is a nice girl, but in any event, I didn't feel that way at first when I initially joined the Naginata Club. That's the truth.
最初はね。じゃあ今は？
あらあら、本当に真剣なのね。まあ、いいことだとは思うけど。まさやくんだって、いつかは一人に決めないといけないわけだし、だったら、あんまり遅いよりは、ね。
Yes.
本当に真剣な様子です。そんなことなら、私も合宿をすればよかった。
言ってるそばから惑わしてくるわね。
でも本当に本気なのですか？好みは一番仲のいい後輩ですから、だから気になるんですが。
Yeah, when I was staying at the lodge, Konomi was always on my mind. That is the truth.
そうですか。わかりました。
Jumped a bit more than I probably should have when a phone call suddenly rang out during our serious discussion.
好みから？
Looks like it. Hello?
好みです。
Yeah. How did it go? Sounded like she was calling from outside. I could hear the sound of the wind.
やりました。優勝です。
Congratulations. Whispered with clenched teeth. The expression, I'm as happy as if it were about myself, seemed to apply, but it was the first time I'd ever felt this way.
これもマサヤ様のおかげです。
It's because you worked hard for it, Konomi.
中期課程最後の大会、今度こそ勝利したいと本当にそう思っていて。
Hearing her crying was getting me sentimental right alongside her. But
帰ったら改めてご報告しますから。
yeah, I'll be waiting. When our call ended, I pumped my fist into the air. Alright! She did it, everyone! Konomi did! What? Before I knew it,
さっきのあの嬉しそうな顔、やっぱりまさやくん、惹かれているんでしょうね。
like they just pissed off. They just ran.
ですね。ちょっと悔しいけど。はあ、私も部活でもあればよかったのに。まだわかりませんよ。略奪ということもありえます。
Yeah, Ruriko really does remind me of Miyako at this point. I don't know why I rolled the R there. But like, Ruriko really reminds me of fucking Miyako at this point.
あんたも悔しいんじゃないの？
ええ、そうですね。
あら、珍しく正直。
ただ気になるのは、好みも少し変わったところがあるので、うまくいけばいいなとは思うんだけど。
そうね。前なんか見つめ合っただけで妊娠だもの。男性ヌでもちょっと珍しいキャラクターよね。
Fuck, I'm out of beer. Oh well. By the way, I'm still slightly annoyed at the fact that like I told y'all about the fact that there's these D&D sessions going on now. And basically I today was another one. That was the second session and I fucking missed it. Like I just straight up goddamn missed the damn thing. So yeah, like I set fucking 5 different alarms. None of them went off. Like it was fucking stupid. So yeah, that slightly annoyed me. Anyways,
それについては、もう誤った知識は治ったのでしょうか。
と思うけどね。私とまさやくんとで調教してあげたことだし。
勉強でしょ。
まあ、また何か妙なことになりそうになったら、私たちでフォローしてあげればいいじゃない。
ええ、そうですね。
The end. An issue of Image.
イメージの問題。
If I'd known this was going to happen, then I would have asked her what time she was coming back. She had called around 5 o'clock last time. I came here immediately after that, but the long summer day had already come to an end. There naturally wasn't any need for wait around here, but I couldn't just sit around in my room in my current state of mind. I wonder if she'll be back soon. I had leaned up against the trunk of a cherry tree when I was starting to get tired when I heard Chubb's footsteps approaching. That! No. I guess someone popping up out of nowhere in this dim lighting would surprise anyone. Yo, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting to... She interrupted me when her arms wrapped tightly around my neck, practically choking me. For which I meant... Can't breathe. To be perfectly blunt, I was happy that she was hugging me so tightly. But it was difficult to breathe! But her appearance community was much stronger than she let on to her due to her Naginata training. That reminds me, something like this happened before summer vacation started too. Huh? It did? I don't recall, Fuck! No! I pressed the wrong button! Her embrace was a lot more powerful now than it was back then, likely because she was so emotional on top of everything else. Can somebody remind me what the fuck happened, please? It was even more suffocating than last time, but I didn't feel like speaking up. Probably because it made me happy. Embracing Konomi like this made me happy. I patted on the back like you would to soothe a child. She looked up at me with tear-stained eyes. Those eyes looked beautiful to me. What? Konomi quickly pushed me away and used the recoil to spin around away from me. Then promptly ran off as fast as she could. Hey, Konomi! The gate is that way! She tripped with tremendous momentum and I rushed over to her side in a panic. Are you okay? I squatted down and took a closer look. Luckily, it didn't look like she'd skin it. I tried applying some light pressure. Does it hurt? Is that what happened? Then, I'll bring you to the dorm. Is this too embarrassing for you? It was an unusually foolish reply coming from Konomi. Better just start walking. If you didn't like it, you would probably say so. Yeah? No, not at all. You're actually pretty light. Come to think of it, this was the second time I'd carried her in my arms like this. Although the circumstances were much different last time. She scratched at me wildly back then too, but that wasn't doing anything. Wasn't doing anything of the sort this time. I also didn't get punched like when we played the game of life earlier either. Huh? What? I don't get it. I'm a fucking idiot. Am I the moron here? I was happy to see that change in her. Not because of a lack of pain, but it being a different situation entirely. Uh-huh. After gently setting her down, you checked to see how her knee was doing. If it hurts too much, you should get it checked out in the infirmary. At the infirmary. That's great then. Are you tired? You've been up since earlier this morning. If you think you're still okay, let's go tell everyone else how you did too. Intermediary course and final course were in different buildings, so I asked before entering. I was waiting for you. I mean, waiting in my room would have worked out the same, but I just couldn't seem to contain myself. I stopped and turned to face her. Her cheeks were red. I guess she hadn't gotten over her excitement of winning the championship yet. My god, you're an idiot. Congratulations, Billy. Once Ritsuko clapped, everyone else followed suit. Since Chiyo was also involved in sports, you could tell from how she phrased it that she really meant it. See, is Konomi an only child? That would mean she'll end up inheriting the dojo. I really would like to try that. Like, I actually would love to try, like, just cutting through straw dummies or tatami mats or something. It would train muscle, so he would actually be able to, you know, move the practice blade quicker. Nah.
何照れてるのよ。でも、あんたがなんかしたの？
元気が出るおまじないとか？
おまじない？
前に読んだスポーツ漫画では、ヒロインのマネージャーが主人公に おまじないなんてキスしてあげていたわよ。
それは漫画の話でしょ。漫画の話ですよね。
Like Hisco just like just like fucking gives him the evil eye, just stares him down. Only in manga, right? Yeah, of course. Her eyes looked kind of scary. I didn't do anything special. I was just a sparring partner.
でもそのおかげで私は自分の弱点を克服することができたんです。
へえ、弱点を克服か。
Everyone looked impressed after Konomi explained the situation.
さすがはマサヤさんですね。運動神経があります。
なるほどね。じゃあ本当にあなた隠れた功労者だったのね。
I got embarrassed and scratched my head. Did it take you a long time to make the trip after all? You called me at 5 o'clock, but it was pretty late by the time you made it back.
いえ、閉会式の後、新聞や雑誌のインタビューがあったんです。それで遅くなってしまいました。
Oh no, did she share the fact that it's all thanks to him at those interviews? And she's going to absolutely regret it?
おお、新聞すごい。美少女すぎる剣士か。いいじゃない。
新聞に載ることは誇らしいような気持ちもあったのですが、インタビューには試合以上に緊張してしまいました。ちゃんと受け答えはできた？正直、内容もあまり覚えていなくて、好物はという質問に対して真剣ですと答えたことくらいです。
What do you like to eat a lot? Hardened blades! Just cold steel!
相手の人もびっくりでしょうね。それは。
I figured Konomi would be quite tired by now, but she stayed in high spirits until late into the evening. The instant there was a lull in conversation, she started nodding off before practically collapsing onto the sofa and falling asleep.
そっか、試合で疲れていたから。
あら、これは起こすのもかわいそうね。律子の部屋に連れて行ってあげたら、そっちの方が早いでしょ？
そうします。
Okay, I'll carry her. Konomi didn't show any signs of waking, even as I carried her to Ritsuko's room. She looked like an infant you might spot sound asleep on their parents' bag as they wandered around downtown. Konomi had young features, both in her appearance and personality, which was kind of charming in itself.
今回のことでは、好みは本当に喜んでいます。私も嬉しいです。
Yeah.
私からもお礼を言います。マサヤ様、ありがとうございました。
Of course. I had been leading a rather unfulfilling life as of late, namely because I had notably few opportunities to see. Namely because we had notably few opportunities to see each other since our dorms were in different buildings. Maybe not few, but more like none at all. We got to see each other and chat practically every day when I was with her at the lodge. That difference was sinking in pretty deeply. Our time at the lodge had come to an end right before the tournament. After all, the club members could go home now, too. Just the other day, there was an event called Summer Training Camp that the student body could participate in, but Konomi's health deteriorated, so she didn't attend.
大会から戻ってきてからというもの、熱が出てしまったんです。
A fever? That's not good.
ええ、私もお見舞いに行ったのですが、だいぶ具合が悪そうでした。おでこもとても熱くて。実際は大会の最中から微妙に体調が悪かったそうなんです。
そうなの？それで優勝というのもすごいわね。
なんでも前日の夜水ごりをしたそうで。 水ゴ
Everyone looked puzzled.
リ水ゴリってあれだっけ、滝に打たれるとかの。はい、この実は湖の水を体にかけたそうです。なんでそんなことを？精神統一のためにと言っていました。はあ、だからって夜は肌寒いくらいなのに、さすがね。
今も寝込んでいるの？じゃあ明日からの夏合宿は無理かな。
うん。
Summer training camp sounded like a fun event, but I couldn't deny that something was missing. I'm spending all my time worrying about Konomi, huh? I was keenly aware of it now. I once said as much the other day, too. Guess I really do have feelings for her. I'm coming!
ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。まさやさん、まだお昼は食べていないわね。
Right. It was only 10 o'clock in the morning. It was still only 10 o'clock in the morning.
ならちょうどよかったわ。まさやさん、これから白百合会、紅バラ会合同で流しそうめん大会をやるわよ。
Oh, that. Nagashi Somen, huh? Sounds nice.
グラウンドで開催するの。行きましょう。
Ah, Konomi!
ごきげんよう。
Are you over your cold?
はい。
Oh, that's great! Huh? But, your face still looks red. Excuse me a second. I guess you aren't hot.
なかなか大胆ね。あなた
Sup,
も。
Mitskis? Oh, Mitsuki, you're here?
何よ、その話は。
My god! Oh, after last round, that phrasing hurts! Oh, it's just, before summer vacation started, you said you'd be visiting home the entire break.
そのつもりだったんだけどね。ただ、こうしてアソシアションが主催するイベントもあるでしょ。だったら下級生の回答に任せて、家に戻っているわけにはいかないもの。
I get it.
ところで、いい加減手を離しなさいな。あまり感心できないわよ。
Oh, yeah, let go. Konomi's face was still red, but luckily she didn't appear to be hot.
でも、こんな場合、好みのことだから飛び上がって怒り出すかと思ったけど、そんなこともないのね。そうでしょうか。なんか変な反応ね。もう熱は下がったんでしょ？
Just as I had done, Mitsuki placed her hand on Konomi's forehead.
平熱みたい。
I've been participating in the Naginata Club. I got some exposure to the Naginata, although not to the same extent as I have with Kendo, so I guess she's gotten used to me. The look on her face suggested that she both did and didn't quite understand it. It was an action that had brought Konomi and I closer, so I'd like to think. But it was only natural that it wouldn't make sense to anyone else.
でも、それについては私も聞いたわよ。あなた、好みの優勝に一役買ったそうね。
Oh, yeah.
初心者だったんでしょ？なのに力になって、大したものだ。そうですよね。私は大いに感心して。そうか。
He seemed to have realized something, thus stunning everyone around us.
私は、マサヤ様のことを尊敬していたんです。
Sounds like she's trying to make excuses. It probably is, actually. It doesn't just sound like it, that is the case. Also, I'm cleaning my glasses. I hate having to clean my glasses. Cleaning my glasses is hella annoying. There was a hair on there for some reason now. Huh?
この気持ちは、そう、尊敬だったんですよ。ようやく、やっと、わかりました。
Something tells me it's not. Huh? I was so certain I didn't quite understand what she was getting at. Hearing her say that she respected me, well, it wasn't a bad feeling, but,
前は切られそうになったこともあるというのに。
タンタトルセルパンも出世したものじゃない。
Mitsuki smiled amusedly.
悪いことではないわね。
The team making the somen disappeared into the building, and the rest of us got to work making the stand.
流しそうめんですからね。なんといっても醍醐味は大にあります。
What the fuck is Nagashi somen anyways? Let me look this shit up. Hello? There we go. Nagashi somen. Oh, it's that weird ass somen that like goes that like comes down the bamboo pipes.
This is the place. We have arrived. Excellent. So glad
I'm not looking for an 18-minute video. A short one is enough. Hold on, let me just add display capture, yes. Display 2. Boom, boom. I guess this is what they meant with that. So yeah, I don't think I actually turned on the damn display capture. Oh well. Anyways,
そうね。台がなかったらただの食事と変わらないもの。
I just put this thing down.
そこで毎年実家から竹を送ってもらっているんです。
Ah, your family provided this, Ririko? I looked down at bamboo stacked on the ground. It's quite a bit too. Are you making a massive stand out of it or something?
いえ、そんなこともありません。数が多いのは失敗した時のためです。
Oh, that makes sense.
結構大変みたいよ。毎年ゴミになった竹が山と積まれるみたいで。
Is it really that complicated? I scooped up the bamboo for a short while. By the way, you've been awfully quiet, Konomi. Knowing you, I assumed you would be dying to put on a performance and cut the bamboo up with a sword at a time like this.
そんなことは私はしません。
She would, though. Oh, come on, you said something about cutting up straw dummies with a sword during club activities, too.
わらがありませんから。あれがないとなかなか人体の感触には。
That's your problem with it?
あってもやらないでよ。
Alright. I settled on a plan. Do you have anything that could function as a thin pole?
細い棒？なぎなたとか。
Oh yes, that could work. Sorry to ask, Konomi, but could you bring yours here for me?
わかりました。
She ran off in the direction of the nearby building when Ayaka said,
でも確かに今日の好みは妙に静かね。まさやくんを尊敬なんて言った時は何度か興奮していたけど。
Ayaka squatted down and touched the bamboo.
こういうのを見たら目の色変えるだろうなって思ったのよね、私も。
Yeah.
まだ体調が優れないのでしょうか。
She didn't have a fever.
まあでも真剣を持ち出さないことで不思議があるなんて、それこそ奇妙な話かしらね。
I may have laughed, but Konomi didn't perk up after that either. I was starting to get worried. Even after all that talk of swords and so forth, all that talk of swords and so forth was a joke, it was no secret that Konomi was normally full of energy. She scuttled off quietly into the corner for the event and did not participate in any sort of conversation. I tried to ask her if something was the matter, but
何でもありません。
after getting a reply like that, there wasn't anything more I could personally say. Evening Star Gathering. Around the end of the summer vacation, an event called the Evening Star Gathering was to be held. It was a get-together to gaze at the summer's constellations. And with that as a catalyst, our relationship would become much closer. Or at least that was supposed to be a genuinely wonderful event where I could hope for something that lovely to happen. I wasn't going to let this opportunity slip through my fingers. I had been agonizing over not being able to see Konomi, especially since our last encounter was during the Nakashi Solman party. Now that it has come to this, I should have just asked her out on a date, but this was Konomi I was dealing with. Konomi was eccentric, for better or worse, and when it came to sheer tenacity, even Sen was second to none. If I were to ask her out on a date, completely unprovoked, then,
このタンタトルスルパメやはり今この場で叩き切ってあげます。
And just like that, it was likely I'd be right back where I started. Still, my precious summer vacation was mercilessly passing by. As I agonized over the lovely event known as the Evening Star Gathering came along, I absolutely refused to let this slip through my fingers. This particular event, each person had their own designated seating assignment. This aspect was very Vincent-like. Wasn't sure where she was seated, but there weren't that many people, so I was sure I could find her with ease if I looked. Alright, let's go. Today was the day of the Evening Star Gathering. After the discourse of constellations from Sister Mishima was over, all the gathered students began to migrate. There was enough starlight that I could be able to tell people's faces apart if I got close. Not here. The third-year intermediary course students should be seated in this area. I didn't walk from one spot to the next, but there was no sign of her. Don't tell me she's already sitting with someone else! Wait, wasn't I getting jealous of girls sitting together for? I know, if Konomi is going to sit with anyone, it would be... I knew it!
マサヤ様。来ましたね。
Huh? I was surprised to hear a hint of anger in her voice.
私はおととい、レクリエーションルームでマサヤ様の座席を目にしたんです。
Oh, you did? I'd forgotten to bring it back to my room with me, and ended up leaving it in the recreation room for a while. She must have spotted it then.
その座席表には、私のところに丸がついていなくて。いえ、そんなことはどうでもいいのです。忘れてください。今のは忘れてください。
No, it doesn't matter. I quietly interjected. I didn't put a circle around your star bot because I didn't know where it was. Also, besides, I thought it would be easier to find you if I just looked around. Her mouth flapped open and shut for a few moments before she finally looked somewhat sad and said,
でも、あの表にはいくつも丸がついていて、私はあれを見て、なんだか腹立たしいような、妙な気持ちに。丸をつけたのは、マサヤ様ではないのよ、きっと。多分、周りのみんなが丸をつけた。そうではありませんか？
Yeah. Konomi, did you get mad because you thought I was interested in others?
まあ、そうでしょうか？
Possibly. Even though she was talking about herself, she tilted her head in confusion. Anyway, I personally don't think I'm unfaithful. Because I decided who I was going to sit with from the very start. I decided I was going to go to you.
嘘です。
Wrong. There's nothing untrue about it.
だって、じゃあ、今は、ここはお姉様の席で。
I figured you would be with Ritsuko. I did think it was kind of rude of me to intrude, though. I really wanted to be with you tonight, too, Konomi. She She started to tremble all over. Wasn't sure why it had shocked her so much.
私、違うんです。
Wrong? About what?
この気持ちは、そうじゃなくて、違くて。
This is awkward. This is awkward. It does not feel natural at all. I understand why people in the comments said that that actually it was not a comment, it was in the Discord. Like one person I talked to did say that Konomi was his least favorite of the entire cast, even though looking at design, she probably would be his favorite. But basically he said that her rap was the worst one. I can see it now. It feels unnatural. It feels very artificial. What sort of feeling?
私が感じているのは、尊敬の念だけです。
Respect? I remember she had said something like that before during the Nagashi Soman party.
私は、あくまで、剣士として、マサヤ様のことを、尊敬しているだけで、好きになってしまっているとかは、違うはずで。
Shocked Konomi's eyes went wide after what she had just said out loud. Then her cheeks slowly began to turn red.
失礼します。このみ、
Konomi.
私もこれで失礼します。
Ritsuko quickly bowed her head before jogging off after her. I was now all alone. Why does this keep happening? All by myself. I'll stop, okay. I murmured as I looked up at the night sky. All I wanted to do was watch the stars. But now I knew how she felt. And of course, that made me very, very happy. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. My god, the goddamn screen is dirty when it's just white. You can see some dirt. Anyways, Ritsuko's point of view. Like, there's some grime, there's like a little dot, and there's like a little dot, but you can barely see it if it's not... if the screen isn't completely white. She was certain that Konomi could hear her, yet she made no attempt to turn back. Konomi had quite a bit of stamina due to her being in the Naginata Club, so she couldn't possibly keep up. She quickly ran out of breath, and her legs grew heavy. It took everything she had not to lose sight of her, but there was little hope of her catching up. During her eager pursuit, she came upon the rose garden. After slowing down, she examined the area as she walked. If Ritsuko didn't find her now, she would have no choice but to give up for the night. But there she was, sitting at the table.
Konomi.
She had her elbows on the table, her head hung low. Ritsuko realized then that she had never seen Konomi like this before. They had been close friends for over 2 years now, despite being in different courses. Although, the way Konomi looked earlier was also the first of its kind too.
どうしたの？一体。
Ritsuko asked after taking a seat beside her. She gently pet Konomi's back to encourage her, despite her continued silence. A short while later, Konomi answered her without lifting her head.
なんだか、私、自分がわからないんです。混乱しているというか、そう、混乱しているんです。何について？何について？
Konomi absent-mindedly repeated.
最初から話してみなさいな。話しているうち、筋道も立ってくるから。
With a firm nod, Konomi finally lifted her head. She looked dejected, like a cat who had been caught in the rain.
最初はマサヤ様がナギナタ部の合宿に来たことでした。私は以前からマサヤ様には才能があると感じていて、まあ才能というか体つきは強そうですし、とにかく一度はナギナタカ剣道をやってみていただきたい、そう思っていたんです。そうしたら合宿に来てくれて、私は嬉しく思って、ただ最初はそれだけのことではあったのですが。
Konomi spoke, taking many pauses. The way Konomi was trying her hardest to speak, despite being reasonably inarticulate, was a charming sight to behold.
一緒に稽古に励んでいるうち、そうだ、それまで私はマサヤ様はあくまでただの先輩で、お姉様とよく喋っている少し憎たらしい男の人。悪い人ではないにしても、それだけだったはずなのに、気がついたら仲間のように感じていたんです。
部の？
はい。結局のところ、マサヤ様は何を思って合宿所まで来たのか、それはよくわからなかったのですが、とにかく稽古には熱心でしたから。
Whoops.
私はそうした姿を好ましく思うようになっていて、それからです。私は部の子がマサヤ様をチヤホヤしたりするのを見ていると、変な気持ちになるようになってしまって。
やきもちということ？
Konomi continued without answering that question.
心がもやもやして落ち着かなくて、眠れないものだから夜のご飯に行ったりもして、そしてそれからマサヤ様のおかげで私は弱点を克服することができました。これでライバルにも勝てる。大事な試合は明日に迫っている。寝床で天井を見つめながら頭に浮かぶのがマサヤ様のことばかりなんです。
By the way, this is the one I accidentally skipped over. Go ahead and pause.
試合のシミュレーションでもして眠れなくなるというのであればわかります。でもそういうこととは断じて違う。これは変だ。おかしい。そう思った私は前に祖母から聞いた方法で精神統一を図ることにしました。
それが水ごり？
はい。
Oh, that was going on? Regardless of the circumstances, Konomi thought her feelings were so strange that she had to bathe herself in the cold lake water at night.
熱を出して長いことベッドにいた時もずっと考えていました。そして流しそうめんの時に出てきた結論が、この気持ちは尊敬に違いないという。
さっき
Whoops.
グラウンドで好きとか言っていたようだけど。
それはわかりません。
わからないということはないのではなくて、自分が言ったことなのだから。わからないのは、好みがどうしてそこまで自分の気持ちを否定するのかだわ。
恋などと、私はラムサン・メルシーです。男子の仲間を尊敬することはあっても、恋はないです。
そうか。好みも自分のイメージに。
That really does seem to be like the overlying theme of this game, of just people getting too hung up about their appearance and their title and their image, and the background changed to Miyabi again. Why, hello there. Missed you. Anyways,
好み聞いて。
Ritsuko took Konomi-san.
イメージにとらわれて生きるというのは辛いものよ。イメージ？
Sudden shift in topic left Konomi blinking with surprise.
私のことから話をさせてもらうわね。私も姉もそうなのだけど、イメージに沿って生きているところがある。私は両親がイメージする像にとらわれているわ。そして姉は自分で作ったあるイメージにとらわれている。難しい話は言うか。難しいわけじゃないの。好み、よく聞いて。ラムサン・メルシーがなぜ恋をしてはいけないの？ラムサン・メルシーは恋をしない。それが単なるイメージに過ぎないのではないかと私はそう言っているの。思い返せば、好みは前々から自分がラムサン・メルシーなのか、それともミニョン・プーペなのか、そのことにこだわっていたわね。はい。それはつまり、自分が他人にどうイメージされているかにこだわっているということだわ。そして、イメージするのは何も他人だけではない。好みが抱いている自己像というか、それはきっとこういうものだと思うの。恋などせずに剣の道に邁進する剣士。
You on my shin and all that? Majikoi. Again. That was surely the self-image symbolized by L'âme sans merci, which was why she stubbornly denied her feelings of love.
私は結局、ラムサン・メルシーなどではなかったのでしょうか。そういうことではないの。ねえ、好み、イメージの枠内で生きるって窮屈じゃない？私は窮屈だわ。お姉様。こう考えればいいと思うのよ。女剣士だって恋をする。むしろ恋をして何が悪いのかって、そんな風にイメージを広げられたら何も問題はなくなるんじゃないかしら。なるほど。
Konomi nodded repeatedly.
ようやく分かったような気がします。お姉様のおっしゃること。そうですよね。流派の繁栄はこう
Excuse me?
となると、私にも小種が必要。
I don't think that's what she was getting at!
いきなり話が飛んだわね。いえ、別に、男子はそれだけではないですよね。小種だけでは。それはそうよ。それに、男子なら誰でもいいとか、そんなことは私も思っていないですが。でも、そうなると、それはそれで困ったことになってしまいます。困ったことって？決まっているじゃないですか。
She had been dejected until just moments before, but now stood up energetically.
私は一体、お姉様とマサヤ様と本当に恋しているのはどちらなのでしょうか？これ は困ったことに。たまたなどと。やはり、私は腹を切って死ぬべきか。
Actually, let me look up what the fuck the precise difference is between harakiri and seppuku. Harakiri, seppuku. Difference. What is the difference between harakiri and seppuku? Harakiri and seppuku are not the same thing. Harakiri comes from hara, which means stomach. Hara is the kun reading of the Chinese kanji. I don't fucking know. Kiri is the infinitive form of the verb kiru, which means to cut. Kiru is the kun reading of the Chinese kanji. Yeah, we get it. It is the earlier form of killing yourself by slicing your stomach in a horrific way, from left to right up, and up down, like you chopped a cross out of your gut. From left to right, up and down, like you chopped a cross out of your gut, and then you then lay in your misery until you die from the bleeding and the pain. It is typically done on the battlefields. For instance, your army has been routed and your lord has been killed and you are about to be captured by enemy troops, or in other instances when you don't have the luxury of having a nice tea ceremony-like setting with a second to put you out of your misery. On the other hand, seppuku uses the same characters, but uses the on reading, setsu and huku. When you combine these, the reading becomes setsupuku, or seppuku. Seppuku is a formal ritual form of harakiri, which was used in the courts when a samurai dishonored himself and was to atone to his lord. It is a more humane way of killing yourself, as you have a second, kaishakunin, who will chop your head off after you do the initial slice and put you out of your misery. You also get to drink the last cup of sake to take with you to the underworld. The TLDR, seppuku, ritual, second finishes you off. Harakiri, informal, solo flight suicide. There we go. Now we know the difference between harakiri and seppuku.
あのね、このみ。
This was the Konomi after all. She was likely being more than half serious about this, or so Ritsuko thought.
そんなことは悩むようなことではないでしょう。友人としての親愛の情と恋愛感情は全く別のものだわ。わかりません。
Konomi sat down, becoming dejected again.
初めてお姉様と出会って制服の体を直していただいたとき、私の胸を満たしたあの温かな感情は本当に恋とは違ったものだったのでしょうか。
Of course, it should be different. Konomi, whom was a prisoner of the image L'Âme sans Merci, had meekly accepted her love for Ritsuko. And that was likely because it wasn't real love.
でも好みはまだ迷っている。けれどここまで来たらそれももう良くないわよね。
Yeah, literally just like bring up the fact, like you were very conflicted about falling for Masaya since you weren't allowed to fall in love, yet you weren't conflicted for Ritsuko. Wouldn't that mean that it isn't that kind of love? Anyways,
マサヤ様と話し合う。いえ、感情のことだもの。話し合っても仕方がないか。
After giving it some thought, Ritsuko made a certain proposal. And a curious spectacle unfolded in which Konomi turned bright red, much like a boiled octopus leaping up into the air. But ultimately she accepted. Summer festival in the neighboring town. Jesus Christ! What?
好み、ノックもしないでいきなり入ったりして。
I think the lock broke! Huh?
確かにノックをしないのはマナー違反です。
Why are you in your hakama? It is called a hakama, right? I'm not a fucking idiot, right? Please tell me it's called a hakama. I'm going to look like an absolute fucking idiot if it's not called a hakama. 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 It is called a Hakama! I'm not an idiot! I am not a fool! I am not a moron!
これから決闘を申し込むという時にマナーを気にする剣士がいますか？
The duel? Where was all this coming from?
デートをどう翻訳したら決闘になるのか私にはわからないわ。
I mean, from what you just said, Japanese word for date, deto. Japanese word for duel, keto. Deto, keto, deto, keto, deto, keto, deto, keto, deto, keto. Yeah, you can see how you can mess it up. Date?
そういう軟弱な単語はどうかと思います。軟弱？そうかしら。これを機に子をなそうかどうかというところなのですから、もはや真剣勝負です。
Since she's talking so much about bearing a child, you better damn well know that route is officially going to be the worst one of this entire fucking game. Even the after story, it's not in the future for them having a child. Like, if you're really gonna put a focus on it that much, you better show us it actually happening, you motherfucker. I couldn't comprehend what she meant by whether or not she would bear a child right away.
子って好みったらいくらなんでも先走りすぎだわ。好み、そこに座って。
They both sat in a Seiza position and turned to face me.
子作りだなんて二人の気持ちが揃ってからの話だわ。いえ、そもそも未婚で母親だなんて。
Rant, rant. Rant, 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 rant. Rant, 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 rant. She kept going on and on. Ritsuko, could you get to the point?
はい。
I sat down on the floor with them, forming a triangle. Let's see. For starters, what in the world are you talking about? There was absolutely no way this was really about duels or childbearing. Itsuko urged her on with her eyes. Konomi retrieved a piece of paper tucked into her blouse.
どうぞ。さらしに挟んでいたので、少し曲がってしまっていますが。
Shouldn't be too bent out of shape. Why in her chest wrapping? Yes, I did just take that opportunity to make a joke about how she's flat-chested. Thinking about how this made direct skin contact made my heart race. The paper was warm too. Oh, this is washi paper. That's rare.
やはり果たし状ですからね。普通のノートみたいな紙では閉まりません。ラブレターでしょ。そうとも言うかもしれませんが。
More like that's all you could call it. Wait, a love letter? That's...
何ニヤニヤしているんですか？
Because I'm happy. Can I read it?
どうぞ。
I opened the paper to find a line of calligraphy which was written in what looked like toothbrushes. Brush strokes, not toothbrushes. What the fuck? How would that work? And what looked like brush strokes. Maybe that came from her impression of a letter of challenge too. All this dangerous talk about duels and letters of challenge has worried me to some extent, but it contained nothing of the sort inside. It was simply an ordinary invitation for the two of us to go on a date. Konomi tensed her shoulders and stared straight at my face.
どうでしょう。
I accept, of course. Actually, I've been wanting to ask you out on a date myself.
よかったわね、好み。
The wingman Ritsuko! Wing woman. You fucking know what I mean. despite the airheaded reply, she did seem to be delighted. By which I could tell from the way her glossy cheeks were turning red as an apple.
では、この後、また、5時になったら、寮の玄関で待ち合わせる、ということで、いいでしょうか。
5 o'clock? Got it.
それでは、失礼します。ごきげんよう。
Konomi staggered to her feet as if her head were in the clouds.
では、私も、ごきげんよう。
Once the two of them left, my heart began to race. Man, a date with Konomi. There's no way I wouldn't be happy about this. I should be ending the part. But I'm surprised Konomi brought it upon herself to suggest it. Guess she had insisted that it was a duel. This was something assuredly thanks to Ritsuko supporting her. Almost assuredly. I was deeply grateful to Ritsuko. I wait by a doorway and wait you shall even longer!
セーブ
For I'm going to put a stop to this part here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and see you next time. Bye bye.